It's the 80s supercar that sparked an international supercar rivalry. It's got technology so advanced that it took 20 years for others to catch up. It's a 200-mile-per-hour rocket that was designed to race on the dirt. Bill Gates helped pass legislation just so he could get his hands on one. I can already see you nerds in the comments being like, F40's better. Well, you're wrong. You're wrong. It's time to go bumper to bumper on the Porsche 959. I've never seen one in real life. Everything about the 959 is unique, from the blocky rear to the shiny silver leather. This thing is the embodiment of the 1980s, and I'm from the 1980s, so Big Bro can relate.
Step into a Slim Jim.
When it came out in 1986, it was the most technologically advanced car around and the first production car to hit 200 miles per hour. Porsche sold 292 of them for around $300,000 in 1980s money, which is about $660,000 nowadays, but they didn't make any money because it cost double that to produce each car. We here in the States didn't get to enjoy the 959. It wasn't street legal because Porsche couldn't afford to supply the US Department of Transportation with the 4 959s necessary for crash testing. Some were imported via the gray market or under show or display loopholes after 1999, but they really couldn't be driven that much on the street. This is the first one I've actually seen in person. I am pumped. Here's literally the first time I saw it. Jesse shot it on his phone.
It's so sick.
The exterior looks exactly what you'd expect a Porsche 911 concept car to look like in the 80s. The long, sloping rear, the round headlights, the low profile. You'll also see some unique characteristics that weren't found on other Porsches during that time. These really pronounced side sills and the rear vents. The body is made of aluminum and Kevlar composite, and the floors are made of Nomex, which is a lot like Kevlar, but it's more resistant to heat. The rear end is the most 80s thing I've ever seen. One large brake leg stretching across the back like Kim Kardashian in them juicy pants. But instead of juicy, it says Porsche! Above the taillights is the wing. Unlike the whale tail wings found on other Porsches of the time, this one is seamlessly incorporated into the body and flat enough to cut up a few lines with your hedge fund buddies so you can explain why Huey Lewis and the News is the best freaking band to a girl with crimped hair in the back of a cab. No, babe, like, listen to it. No, are you listening? No, listen to the lyrics. Let's get brunch tomorrow, for sure. Call me, make me do it, or I won't do it. Let's start a business, okay? All right.
Yeah.
This was actually the first production car Porsche made that had air intakes on the rear fenders. Bach actually played these rear vents in the studio when he recorded his original symphonies. The tires themselves are very special. They're Bridgestone RE71 Denlocks, the world's first run flat tires, and they still make them. The nose is 80s Porsche to the T, or should I say the P? It's got the classic round headlights, overly complicated headlight washers which pop up so they can brake. And my favorite part about the front end, what is this? A gas cap? Put your liters of petrol in. It costs $19 a liter because we live in the EU. Popping the front hood reveals one of the most carpeted and shallow frunks I have ever seen. You could fit a pizza very, very well. Pull these two little tabs right here, lift this guy up, access the Porsche first aid kit. Everything is in German. I think they included it because you're rally racing. There's also a piece of chalk in here in case you have to trace a body line around your co-driver. Germans, baby. Guys are up. Again, here's the gas cap, and this is soaked in gas. The doors are very satisfying to open. Inside the handle is this little lever that makes such a delightful little noise that you might think Donut has started making ASMR videos.
That sounds so good. I love how that sounds. I could go to sleep right now. Pitter, patter, click.
You want to replace fluids in a normal car, you just pop the hood and find the caps. But not in this car. This is a Porsche 959. We don't do anything normal in this car. On each side are these little caps, which look like fuel doors, but they're not fuel doors. To open these guys, you pop the hood and then pull these really cool yellow latches that look like the latches that pop an airplane door open. Are you willing and able to sit in this exit row to add suspension fluid and oil? Yeah, I enjoy the extra legroom. Hood wrap first class. Pull the one on the right and it opens the port above the passenger side wheel well to give you access to the Earl. Pull the one on the left and it opens the hatch above the driver's side wheel well where you can top off your suspension fluid. Suspension fluid? What the heck is this guy smoking? Cause I want some of it. Slide into the DMs and I'll get you some. The fluid is for the 959 Super Special hydraulically adjustable suspension system, which we will get into in a minute. So keep watching and smash that like button. Engine is shoehorned in tighter than Axl Rose in leather pants. The 959 has a 2.8 liter sequentially turbocharged 6-cylinder boxer engine and is based off the engine used in Porsche's 956 and 962 race cars. It's got dual overhead cams and 4 valves per cylinder. A Bosch Motronic 2.1 fuel injection system keeps the engine fed with fuel. The cylinder heads are water cooled and the cylinders themselves are air cooled. This is pretty significant seeing as Porsche didn't use water cooling systems in their engines on production cars until 1999. All in all, the 959 makes 444 horsepower at 6,500 RPM with 369 Turks. The use of sequential turbos means smoother delivery across the power band. Das ist lit. The sport model can do 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. That's in 1986, and it's got a top speed of 198. This thing freaking rips. That's all cool and good, but maybe the best part of the engine is another fun little sticker that explains the firing order of the cylinder. 1, 6, 2, 4, 3, 5. 1, 6, 2, 4, 3, 5. I got it. You want it. If you pluck this belt, the toe makes you poop your pants. The car's got tons of little quirks and features like that.
Swag.
Things that only make sense in the 80s, like this sticker right here that simultaneously advertises that it has a Blaupunkt stereo, but says, do not steal it, all right? We do have a Blaupunkt stereo, yes, but do not steal it because you'll need a code and you won't be able to use it, all right? You'll have to get an Alan Turing. Let's see how that Blaupunkt stereo sounds. I love this song. Before today, I'd never seen one of these in real life, and now I'm sitting in one. I got expelled from high school. Holler! Surprisingly, I fit perfectly in this car. All the seats are covered in this 3-tone sparkly leather, and I love it. It makes me feel like I'm at a birthday party in 1986 at McDonald's, and Grimace is a small German man. It's quite a relief that I fit perfectly in this car, being a big buff man like I am. The front buckets are serious, nice and deep, just like Big Bro's pockets. And the bolsters keep you tucked in when you hit the chicanes. The front seats might be tight, but the rear seats are insane. I'm not sure if there's a human that can actually fit in these. They probably just include them for insurance purposes. In the middle, you got your shifter per use. It's got 5 gears plus the reverse and a Gelände gear, which is German for terrain, which makes it the first production car with a 6-speed manual transmission. The Gelände gear is a super low gear for off-road crawling. The project name for the 959 was actually Group B, but in 1986, it took 1st, 2nd, and 6th place at the Paris Dakar Rally. That's crazy. That's like if a Pagani Huayra won the Baja 1000. These robust rally-inspired functions carried over to the production car. There are 3 buttons directly above the shifter right here. This one to the left has a little suspension icon. That's how you adjust the stiffness. And the knob on the right, when you turn this guy, Dr. Pepper shoots out of the steering wheel right into your mouth. Haha, JK. This knob adjusts the ride height. That is what the suspension fluid is for. Fully adjustable ride height. A feature that must have been super futuristic in the 80s. It's got 3 different positions, with the highest one being 8 inches higher than the lowest one. That's pretty good. Above the hazard lights and the defrost button is a digital clock, which doesn't seem like a big deal in 2019, but it's also got a stopwatch function, which you didn't find in a lot of cars in the 80s. Comes in handy if you're laying down a hot lap at the Nürburgring, or when you're trying to see how long it takes Augustus Gloop to pop out of the chocolate lake. He's in the tube! You're a fat little boy, aren't you? The 959 uses a Porsche Steuerkupplung, or PSK, all-wheel drive system that was one of the first of its type in a production car. Instead of a center diff, the PSK system has a multi-plate clutch that uses 6 pairs of friction plates to carry out the torque split. Each pair is individually controlled by one of 8 computers in this car and actuated by hydraulics. This lever to the right of the steering wheel lets you control which traction mode you're in, which you can see in the gauge right above it. There are 4 modes in the Porsche 959. The sun represents ideal driving conditions, like a dry road or a track. Then there's the raindrops, or as I like to call it, the Migos function. Raindrop, drop top. No, it's not a drop top, it's a hard top, it's a coupe. The Migos function is for wet conditions, like rain. Then there's a snowflake mode, which is for when the driver is too politically sensitive. Also, it's for driving in the snow. And then there's full traction mode, which completely locks the torque split to 50-50 front and rear. To the left and right of the gauge are these little percentages. The meter on the left tells you how much of the percent is going to the rear wheels, and the one on the right tells you how much percent is going to the front wheels. More easy, baby. There's 4 other gauges on the dash aside from the traction meter. You got your speedo, you got your tach, you got your boost on the bottom, then you got oil pressure and temp, then finally gas and battery. It makes me feel, honestly, like I'm in a little spaceship. I feel like Han frickin' Solo. Get off my plane, Chewie. Above the thief-proof Blaupunkt tape player is this cluster of warning lights and this weird little speaker. The speaker buzzes in different times and variations like Morse code to let the driver know, "Hi buddy, your oil is low," or "Hey buddy, your tire pressure is low," or "Hey Freundin, your self-esteem is low." Don't you think I know that, robot? This is the first Porsche that we're doing on this show, so I want to point out that all Porsches have the ignition on the left, and that is a little homage to Le Mans, because when you're in Le Mans, you gotta hop in the car, and you wanna start the car and put it in the gear at the same time. I'm starting a Porsche 959. The 959 was too radical and too expensive to build to stick around for long. It's the only supercar built to go off-road, and we'll probably never see one like it again. But it didn't die in vain. Technology from the 959 lives on in the Carrera GT, the 918, and the rest of Porsche's regular lineup. But most importantly, the 959 showed the world what a rear engine design could do and helped save the 911 from certain death in the process. Big shouts to Drive Coffee for helping us make this video. They supplied us with this car. We drink it at the office. It smells freaking great. This one has a 959 on it. You want to learn more about the 959? Go back and watch this video again. Smash that like button. Follow me on Instagram at James Pumphrey. Follow Donut on Instagram at Donut Media. We're gonna do this show every Tuesday until the day I die. Let me know in the comments what other cars you want us to cover. I love you. I think you're supposed to brew it.